In today's session of CCNA series, we'll discuss IPv6 static routing. And to explain the IPv6 routing, I have a small lab in which I have three routers R2, R1, and R4. And we will simulate one DNS server with IP 2001 4860 8888/128. And we'll try to ping this Google DNS IPv6 IP from R2 and R1 as well. So we will try different types of static routing like static host routing, static destination network routing, default routing. Okay. In order to configure the static route in IPv6, the IPv6 route command follows the same general logic as we used for IPv4. For IPv4, the IP route command starts by listing the subnet ID and mask. So for IPv6, the IPv6 route command begins with prefix and prefix length. So let's go ahead and configure the same on R2, R1 as well. So before that, let me tell you another thing. The IPs which I have configured between R1 and R2 is 2001:1:2:3 /64. So dot 1 will be on R1 and dot 2 will be on R2. Similarly, between R4 and R1, I have configured 2001:567:0/64. Dot 1 on R1 and dot 2 on R4. So let me hop onto the router R2 first. Okay, so I'll show you the IPs configure. So fast internet 0/1 with IP. As you know, in IPv6, the linked local IPs are automatically configured. Whenever you have an IPv6 IP, you will have a linked local IP. So first, let's configure the static route with next hop. As you know, there are two types. You can configure static route with either by mentioning the next hop or outgoing interface. Okay, so first let's go ahead and configure the static route with next hop IP address. So the next hop IP address for us to reach this subnet will be .1. As I said, the command is almost same. Instead of IP, you configure IPv6. Then define the destination, that is 2001:4860:8888/128. Sorry, I forgot to define the next hop. The next hop IP address is 2001:123:1. We also need to define this network as well. To reach this network, we will define the next hop address as well. Okay, now let's go ahead and check our configuration. As you can see, the routes have been added, and you can verify this in your IP routing table as well. As you can see, the static routes, same like IPv4, are defined by code S. We have both the static routes added. Also, we need to add the static route on router R1. So let me show you how to. Okay, so similarly, I will add another route to Google server, that is 2001:4860:480 4 times 8, and the next hop here will be R4's interface IP address with R1. Okay, so let me go ahead, and so you can verify this again. Okay, so let's go ahead and ping this server. As you can see, I can ping from router R1. So similarly, I need to try this from router R2 as well. Here you go. I can ping the Google server. So similarly, we can also configure static route using next hop. Sorry, outgoing interface. But there is a catch. In Ethernet point-to-point network, you need to define uh, link local next hop IP address for this. Without this, the outgoing interface will not work. So let me demonstrate you on router R2. Okay, so let me remove the static route, add. So outgoing interface is FA0/1. Now if you try to ping, it will not work. Even though the route is added, still it will not work. I'll show you. The route is still there. The route is there in the routing table, but still it's not working because it uses link local address for communication with the next router. So let me uh, check what is the link local IP address. So the link local IP address is this one. So let me go ahead and copy this. And then configure static routes again with link local address. Now you can check the routing table will include outgoing interface plus link local address, and then we can try to ping. As you can see, it is pinging. Actually I have to, I think I have multiple routes. I need to remove all those routes. If you have multiple routes, then the ping will load balance, I think. So let me remove the route without the link local address. Now you can see the ping will go continuously. Here you go. Also, I will show you um, how we can configure default route in IPv6. Okay, so for that, what I will do is I will remove all the specific subnet which I added, like this, and then add a default route after this. Let me remove the. Okay, so let me see if any routes are still available. Let me remove this route as well. Okay, so now I'm sure we don't have any routes available, and we'll not be able to ping this as well. So In default static route in IP, I mean for the destination IPv6, the destination IPv6 prefix and the prefix lengths are all zeros. Okay, so let me add a default route. Adding a default route requires the prefix length. I mean, in this case, we have destination as all zeros. This is the command. When you define a default route in IPv6, it should be colon colon slash 0. And you can define the next hop address here or outgoing interface. If you define the next hop address, it will be 2001, 1, 2, 3, and it will be 1. So I think we should be able to ping, since we have, here you can see we have a default route which will allow connectivity to any destination via R1. So let me try to ping the R4 interface IP address as well. You can see it's pinging that as well. So let me show you the routing table. Here you can see there is a default static route. That's it for this session. I hope this was informative for you. Thank you for watching.